Oklahoma State going to Baylor. I got Baylor winning this game. Number 21, Missouri heading down to Bama, who's ranked 15th, coming off a devastating loss to Tennessee, man. I got Bama winning this game at home. Number 8, LSU heading down to College Station to take on number 14, Texas A&M. I got Texas A&M with the upset, man. They got the hot hand right now. Buffalo Bills heading down to Seattle, who's coming off a good win over a good team. But I'm going to take Buffalo to win this game. The Bears heading down to the nation's capital to take on the Washington Commanders, man. I'm going to take the Commanders to win this game. The Cowboys are going to head down to San Fran to take on the Niners, man. I'm going to take the Niners to win this game at home. Those are my predictions for this week.
Yes! Yes! Oh, yeah! Can you feel that, buddy? Huh? I have exorcised the demons. This house is clear.
Oh, yeah, and apology. I wasn't really familiar with your game and, you know, how you travel.
Man, you're casual.
Played, 16, so I want to say I'm proud of you. Talk about the importance of, and apology. I wasn't really familiar with your game and, you know, how you travel.
Man, you're casual.
Played, 16, so I want to say I'm proud of you. Talk about the importance of...
YouTube, what's going on, man? The weekend is over. Monday and Tuesday are over. You know what day it is, man.
Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Woo-woo!
It's Wednesday, aka hump day, aka halfway through the week, which makes it halftime. This is Halftime with Dizzy. I appreciate you tuning in for episode number 10, man. It's flying by. I can't believe it. We got another good episode in store for today, man. But before we get into any of that, be sure you X out the video, drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you're new, share with a friend if you're not.
Don't ask. I said don't ask. I said don't ask. No questions. Just give the money.
And let's get right into it, man. It's Halloween season, man, and things are getting spooky in the world of football, man. Let's get into the game plan for today's video. Like I said, episode number 10. Of course, we got the halftime headlines where we're going to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs and if they really gonna three-peat. We're going to talk about the college football playoff bracket. We're going to talk about a mock draft that I came across this past weekend. We're going to get into practice makes perfect. We're going to talk about if Coach Primetime is the coach of the year in college football. Of course, we got He's Diffy. We got the predictions. And, of course, the halftime speech, man. Before we get into anything, one more time, I'm going to tell you, make sure you drop a like. Subscribe if you're new. Share with a friend if you're not. Comment down below what your favorite game of the weekend was. And let's get right into the headlines. Last week, we talked about two trades that sent two good receivers to two good teams in the AFC. Of course, that was Amari Cooper going to the Buffalo Bills and Devontae Adams going to the New York Jets. Shortly after that, another trade was made that sent a good receiver to the best team in the AFC. DeAndre Hopkins being traded from the Tennessee Titans to the Kansas City Chiefs, man. And he was in their game this past weekend, their win against the Raiders. Josh Alper of NBC Sports wrote, wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins didn't have a lot of time to learn the Chiefs offense ahead of Sunday's game against the Raiders, but it also didn't take him long to show the kind of impact he can have on the field. Hopkins picked up 13 yards to convert a third down on the opening drive of the game, and quarterback Patrick Mahomes called the play by his new teammate high-level stuff when he spoke to reporters after the game. Hopkins finished the day with 2 catches for 29 yards, which would usually be seen as modest numbers for a receiver of his caliber. It was the first game for a new team, however, and that makes the focus on what it might mean for him and the Chiefs and the future. Now, the question after last year's Super Bowl, which, of course, the Chiefs won, making them back-to-back champs, the question immediately was, can the Chiefs do it? Can the Chiefs three-peat? Can they make history? And I think that question is relevant and rises back up again today because of this trade, because the Chiefs get a true number one wide receiver, which they had in Rashee Rice, but he's on IR, potentially out for the year. And now I'm not one to usually make a bold prediction like that, but you have to look at how the Chiefs are doing right now. Patrick Mahomes ain't playing his best ball. Travis Kelce ain't playing his best ball. And yet they're still winning. With all the guys they have on IR, they're still winning. And it's because their defense is suffocating and Patrick Mahomes just finds a way to make plays when he needs to make plays. But that doesn't mean he's playing great football. And because of that, when you add DeAndre Hopkins into the mix, once Patrick Mahomes does play his best football, Travis Kelce does play his best football, who's stopping this team? With this defense that's suffocating, with this defense that ain't letting anybody get no easy points, nothing like that, who is stopping this team once Patrick Mahomes wakes up and says, all right, yeah, it's go time? And you know when he does it when the moment is the biggest, when he gets to the playoffs, when he gets later on down the road and the games mean so much more. So I think they can absolutely three-peat if they can stay healthy. D-Hop giving them that jump ball aspect that they don't have on offense currently. You got him on the outside. You got Worthy that can still blaze by anyone. Pacheco's coming back eventually. Hollywood Brown, I think, is supposed to come back eventually. And again, if Patrick Mahomes is going to hit that switch, you know when it's going to be. It's going to be later in the season when it matters most. Travis Kelce's going to hit that switch later on in the season when it matters most. And so I think they can definitely go back to the Super Bowl. And it has me thinking, what could stop them? What can stay in their way? And honestly, it's fate. Fate can stop them because fate can sit there and say, we're not going to let this Hall of Fame wide receiver get a Super Bowl ring. The reason I say that is because it's happened before. Randy Moss went to the Patriots, and what happened? I think they went 17-0, and they didn't win the Super Bowl. Eli Manning and the New York Giants stood in their way, and it has me thinking, who in this case would be Eli Manning and the New York Giants? His name's Jared Goff, and it's the Detroit Lions. I think right now, yes, I'm saying it right now. I'm giving my prediction. The Chiefs and the Lions will be in the Super Bowl. And I think if the Chiefs are 100% healthy, I think they beat the Lions. But the Lions could very well be the New York Giants in this situation. Let me know what you think down in the comments, man. Let me know what you think about my prediction. If you think the Chiefs can three-peat, if they can make it back, or you think someone's going to stand in their way. Let's move on, man. Speaking of playoffs, speaking of championships, man. College football, man, just so exciting to watch. I love it. I love every second of it, man. And I thought I would take a look at what the college football playoff bracket would look like if it started today. You know, we're inching closer and closer to the day, and so I just looked it up, what it would look like. You see it right here on your screen, man. You would have Oregon as the 1 seed, Georgia as a 2 seed, Miami as the 3, BYU as the 4 seed, Penn State at 5 taking on Boise State at 12. You would have Ohio State at 6 taking on Texas A&M at 11. You would have Texas at 7 taking on Notre Dame at 10. And you would have Clemson at 8 taking on Tennessee at 9. And looking at that, man, it just makes me even more excited. It just makes me even more excited and more happy that they did implement the 12-team college football playoff. And it just goes to show why people wanted it. Who would have thought BYU is in the top 4? Who would have thought Boise State would be in this playoff bracket? And it's crazy because just looking at it, you can already see some upsets that could potentially happen. I could see Texas A&M upsetting Ohio State. I could see Tennessee upsetting Clemson. I could see the winner of A&M and Ohio State upsetting the University of Miami. I can see the winner of Notre Dame and Texas upsetting the University of Georgia. You can mess around and have BYU in the championship. Like it's so many possibilities right now with schools that you would have never thought because they've expanded this bracket, man. I'm just so excited to watch it all unfold. We're inching closer and closer, and you know we're going to talk about it as the day gets closer, man. Let me know in the comments what you think, and if you think there's somebody out there that can sneak in and can really be a contender or in this bracket right now that you think no one's picking that could really take it all the way. Let me know in the comments, man. And we're going to keep talking about some of the top dogs in college football, man, because I recently seen a mock draft online, and it kind of got on my nerves a little bit. Let's talk about it, man. Justin Mello of the DraftNetwork.com gave his NFL mock draft after Week 9 of the NFL season concluded, and here's the top 10 picks that he has. He has Shedeur Sanders going to the Carolina Panthers at number 1, Travis Hunter to the Tennessee Titans at number 2, Abdul Carter to the Patriots, Mason Graham to the Jets, Will Campbell to the Jaguars, Ariante Ursery to the Saints, Cam Ward to the Raiders, Garrett Nussmeier to the Browns, Walter Nolan to the Dolphins, Kevin Banks Jr. to the Giants. Those are the top 10 picks. I'll have a link in the description so that you can look at the rest of the mock draft, man. And here's what caught my attention and had me a little upset, man. I'm tired of people thinking that number 1 overall pick, the team that has it, go ahead, draft a quarterback, and your worries are just, you're gone. The Carolina Panthers, they're awful. They are an awful team. So what makes anyone think that Shedeur Sanders being picked number 1 overall by the Carolina Panthers would make them a good team? It doesn't. And I know this is hypothetical. I know we're still months away. I know that there's still a lot to be done, a lot to be evaluated. We'll see if the Panthers even have the first overall pick, which it looks like they will, but we'll see. But I just hate the notion of we'll just draft a quarterback and all the worries will go away. I hate it because what it does is it puts pressure on that dude to be Superman and to just completely change a franchise when it's a team sport. The franchise needs to put pieces around that guy in order for him to succeed. Look at C.J. Stroud in the Houston Texans. Look at Caleb Williams and what he has around him in Chicago. Look at Jaden Daniels and some of the pieces around him in Washington. Now, obviously, the talent of the quarterback elevates a team. Is Washington an amazing team, amazing roster? No, but Jaden Daniels elevates that. I get that. But how much easier is it for a quarterback to thrive in a situation where he has a Terry McLaurin, or he has a Nico Collins, a Tank Dell, and a Stephon Diggs, or he has a Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, and a Rome Odunze, along with a good run game and a good defense? How much easier is it for a quarterback to thrive? It's super easy. But Bryce Young, he couldn't thrive in Carolina where they don't have much. One thing we don't take into account either is quarterbacks that have had it around them their whole life. Bryce Young went to the best high school in the world, went to the best college in the world, and then goes to an absolute dumpster fire in Carolina. You expect him to thrive? You expect him to know what to do? He's not going to know what to do. And I think Shedeur is a hell of a player and obviously one of the best, if not the best quarterbacks in the league, but he can't do it by himself. He can't play O-line. He can't go play receiver. He can't play running back and play defense as well. So I think the narrative of let's hype up these teams and these quarterbacks so that they're picked number 1 overall, just so when they don't do well right away, we call them a bust or we call them trash. It needs to stop, man. And that's why I wanted to address this, is because we as fans need to stop saying, oh, yeah, Shedeur should be number 1. This guy should be number 1. Bryce Young, Trevor Lawrence, whoever, just for them to not succeed because the team doesn't put the right pieces around them. We need to start pushing for teams to build the team first and then that last piece be that quarterback, like the Texans did, like the Niners have done for years. Even the Cleveland Browns, they're a quarterback away, who we'll get into in a little bit. They're a quarterback away. They built their team to where all they need is a good quarterback, and they're a playoff contender. They're a Super Bowl contender. The Pittsburgh Steelers, the same thing. Those are the teams that succeed, not the teams that just say, all right, well, we drafted a quarterback number 1 overall a couple years ago. It didn't work. We're just going to do it again and start the cycle all over again. You're never going to win that way, and the player is never going to succeed that way. Let me know what you think in the comments, man. If you agree or disagree with anything I've said, man, let's get into some practice makes perfect.
We talking about practice, not a game. We talking about practice.
We will be perfect in every aspect of the game. You drop a pass, you run a mile. You miss a blocking assignment, you run a mile. You fumble the football, and I will break my foot off in your John Brown hind parts. And then you will run a mile. Perfection. Let's go to work.
Colorado has been rolling, man, and they just got a big win over Cincinnati. This morning, Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharpe were approached with a question on their show First Take on whether or not Coach Prime should be the coach of the year. Take a listen.
I've got primetime Deion Sanders as my coach of the year. It is plausible, very plausible, if not likely, that the Colorado Buffaloes, led by Deion Sanders, vilified for the whole transfer thing going on, all these transfer players, is on the verge of winning 9 to 10 games this year and being eligible for the college football playoffs. That is coach of the year resume right there. And right now, to me, they're the biggest story, without question, because of that man.
I agree. I don't think there's a bigger story in college football, considering he took over a program that was 1-12, and 2 years later he have them bowl eligible. They're playing unbelievable football. We know Shador can throw the football. They just need him to give him a little time.
Let me start by saying this, man. I watch these two men every single morning, and I hope and pray to one day be on their level and to be on live TV talking sports with them one day. It would be a dream come true. But I'm going to say this right here, right now. I don't care how good they may be in their field and their profession. I don't care where you have them ranked. They're wrong on this. They are absolutely wrong. I understand it. Coach Primetime and Colorado are doing way better than a lot of people expected, including myself. I sat there and said they were only going to get 6 wins this season, and they're already at that total, so they're probably going to surpass it. I understand it. Shador Sanders, son of Deion Sanders, is the quarterback for this team and arguably the best quarterback in the country right now. I understand it. They have Travis Hunter, who's a Heisman candidate and is going to be a top 2 pick in the NFL. I understand it, but we can't let the glitz and glamour blind us from the fact that there are teams doing better with lesser expectations coming in. BYU is undefeated right now, and they're currently ranked 9th in all of college football. So easily, I would say their head coach, Kalani Sitake, I hope I'm saying that right, should be ahead of Coach Prime in the Coach of the Year voting. Another team, Indiana, they're also undefeated. They're 13th in the country right now. Both higher than the Colorado Buffaloes right now. So I would say Kurt Cignetti, I hope I'm saying that right as well, should be ahead of Coach Prime in terms of the Coach of the Year voting. I understand that Colorado's doing well and they're doing better than what we thought, but that doesn't make them the more impressive story. If it wasn't for the head coach of Colorado being Coach Deion Sanders, one of the best football players to ever play, would they be getting the hype that they're getting right now? No, because the programs that are doing better than them aren't getting the recognition that they deserve. BYU is balling, Indiana's balling, and I would say the head coaches of both those programs deserve head coach of the year over Coach Deion Sanders. I would even say Dan Lanning of Oregon. Now, I get it. They have a really talented roster, but that's part of the job. You got to go out there and get transfers. You got to go out there and recruit and develop. And he has a team ranked number 1 overall, looking like the best team in football and might be the national champs this year. We'll see. I know Jalen likes that. I said my boy Jalen likes that. I said that right there. But I say all that to say, as impressive as Colorado has been, they're not the more impressive story out there. And I will give the head coaches of BYU and of Indiana the Coach of the Year award before I gave it to Coach Primetime Deion Sanders. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, man, if you agree or disagree. And let's get into He's Diffy.
Result of the play, touchdown. You have to be kidding me. That is impossible. That is absolutely impossible what he just did. That may be the greatest catch I've ever seen in my life.
It's in the conversation.
What?
Throws.
Gino's got the football. They hand off to Tavon. He stutter steps. He cuts by a defender. He takes it across the field at the 35. He's got a wall of blockers. Tavon Austin at the 40. He's at the midfield. He's up the near sideline at the 35. Stutter steps 30, 25. Finally gets pushed out of bounds.
Wide open man. A flick into the end zone by Jerome Simpson. Oh, goodness.
You know what time it is, man. He's Diffy. He's Diffy. First up on the list, Jarquez Hunter, running back for Auburn, 23 carries, 278 rush yards, and 2 touchdowns in the win over Kentucky. I mean, talk about putting the team on your back, putting the offense on your back. All those yards, all those carries, 2 touchdowns, man. Big time day for Jarquez Hunter, man. Moving on, Roderick Daniels Jr., wide receiver at SMU, only had 2 catches, man. And for most receivers, that's like a, man, I only had 2 catches a day. What the heck? But this dude had 2 catches, 153 receiving yards, and a touchdown, man. That's absolutely different. That's really maximizing what you do when the ball gets in your hands, no matter how many times that is. Roderick Daniels, you're different, man. And you know who I had to put on this list, man. He's in the thumbnail, so you know he had to make an appearance in the video, man. Jameis Winston, quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. First off, he's different because he actually won with the Browns, which shows that Deshaun Watson is the problem. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to get into all that, man. But he's also different because he gives post-game interviews like this.
Man, it's a white boy from Detroit that I really admire named Eminem. He said, you only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity lasts once in a lifetime. And I know I got a quote, you know, Eminem, he from Detroit, he right up the road, but man, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful that the Lord provided me with this opportunity. I'm grateful for my teammates, my coaches, and these amazing fans.
And if that's not enough, man, he led a game-winning drive against the Baltimore Ravens that no one gave them a shot of beating. He had 334 passing yards, which was the most in the NFL this past weekend. Got a big-time dub against the Baltimore Ravens. That boy Jameis is different, man. Jarquez Hunter, Roderick Jr., and Jameis Winston. That's the list for He's Diffy this weekend, man. Let's get into some predictions.
One thing.
You know what time it is, man. Let's predict some games, man. I'm going to buzz through these real quick, man, so I can get up out of here. First up for college, USC heading down to Seattle to take on the University of Washington, man. First off, I already told y'all, my household don't like USC, and my best friend goes to Washington. So I got to take Washington to win this game at home. That play's going to be jumping. I got them winning this game at home, man. Number 18, Pitt, going down to take on number 20, SMU. I feel like SMU's played the tougher opponents leading up to this point, man. I think they're more battle-tested. I think they're going to get this done at home, man. To give me SMU at home. The big game of the week, man. Everyone's going to be watching. Everyone's going to be anxious to see the outcome of this one, man. Number 4, Ohio State, going down to Happy Valley to take on number 3, Penn State. Give me Penn State to win this one, man. I just feel like it's two teams that are really good, even though Ohio State has been slipping a little bit as of late after losing to Oregon. I got Penn State. They're going to have the home crowd behind them jumping. Call it.
Which side is going to handle that better today?
Chris, we had a chance to visit both these teams, and one of the things that we saw, the clock's ticking down all year for this game, this day. Now they get their chance.
They're going to be jumping, bro. They're going to be jumping. I got Penn State winning this game, man. Let's move on to the NFL, man. The Bears are going to head down to Arizona to take on the Cardinals, man. They got a bad taste in their mouth after losing to the Commanders due to a Hail Mary, man. I don't get why they don't know the rules on that. It's like the Eiffel Tower, bro. You got to have one dude in the front, one dude in the back. In case the ball gets tipped, you go up there and you intercept it. It's simple Hail Mary rules on defense, man. But I got the Cardinals winning this game. The Bears secondary is banged up, and Kyler Murray has been dealing with Trey McBride and Marvin Harrison Jr. So I think Chicago's going to have a tough time dealing with them, as well as the running game with James Conner and Kyler Murray, who can scramble. Give me the Cardinals to win this game at home, man. Lions are going to head down to Green Bay to take on the Packers. Green Bay, another team that's a little banged up. Jordan Love left the game early last week. Jair Alexander is questionable. They got some injuries here and there, and I just don't see anyone stopping the Lions right now. As much as I love watching Green Bay play, I think they're going to lose this one. Detroit on the road is my pick. And the last game, man, the Cowboys are heading down to Atlanta to take on the Falcons, man. Whew. Man, talk about when it rains, it pours down in Dallas, man. Parsons is still questionable. D-Law is still questionable. Cooks is still questionable. And they're heading down to Atlanta to take on one of the hottest offenses in the league right now. Give me the Falcons at home. Those are my predictions for the week. Let me know what y'all think. Let me know what your favorite game is coming up this weekend, man. Let's get into the halftime speech.
The Cinderella story is over, man. Right? They're fighting for clicks. We're fighting for wins. There's a difference. Right? There's a difference.
I'm hurt, dog. Don't ask me if I'm all right. Hell no. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it. I'm putting my heart in this dog. Let's go, man. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Lord, just look inside your heart and find out who you really are. Make sure you look at your teammate today, and you come out and you give pure hell today. This team ain't ready for us. Let's prove that they ain't ready for us.
Get in here. Let's go. Get in here right now. Get in here. Hey, we got 30 minutes for the rest of our lives. 30 minutes for the rest of our lives.
Halftime speech, you know what it is, man. It's just a little nugget to help you get through the rest of your day, week, month, wherever you are when you're watching this video, man. This is to help you get through it, man. At halftime, a coach gives a speech to help his team get through the rest of the game, man. The first part of the game is over. Now it's time to get through the rest of it, and that's the same for this speech right here that I'm going to give to you, man. I'm just going to talk about this verse I have written on the board here today. It's Matthew 6:34. It says, "Therefore, do not be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will be anxious for itself. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble," man. I love it, man, and I find it very important in today's day and age because we often are too afraid to make decisions and take risks and take chances simply because we're afraid of the outcome that's going to happen tomorrow, next week, a month from now, whatever the case may be. Live with no fear, man. Trust in God. Trust that his plan is always going to prevail and is going to lead you the right way, man. And you don't want to live with regrets. You don't want to move forward saying, damn, I regret not taking that chance, and I didn't take that chance because I was afraid of the outcome. Do it, man. Go ahead and take that leap of faith, man, because you never know where it might lead you. You never know where God may take you, man. I appreciate you all watching once again, man. Make sure you drop a like, comment your favorite part of the video, subscribe if you're new, share with a friend if you're not, and just stay tuned. I have another video for you real soon.